What's up with William McNeil? William Neal
They got friends in
McCaffrey?
high
Have you heard of
places.
this?
Yeah, he went missing. He vanished.
Yeah, what's your theories about this?
I I've been spreading my theories about it. But the thing is that I don't have much evidence to back it up, except that there's like dots to be connected. So in December, an MIT professor gets shot dead, and then in February, like 6 weeks later, a Caltech professor gets shot dead. And then you find out that both of them were working on UFO program material. And then 3 weeks after that, this general that's running the UFO program tech shit vanishes. And then I found out, this is unreported, that 150 of these scientists that have worked under him have gone into hiding.
Wow, now that's fascinating. Let me add a bit to the conspiracy theories here. So you mentioned the two scientists or UFOologists or tech experts in this area that went missing, and then somebody else who was killed, and the other gentleman earlier this year. I think it was earlier this year. So there was a conspiracy theory.
December, then
Was
February.
it Harry
February.
Craig?
So it's the one. I think it's the one in February. Well, no, it was last month. So maybe it's the one from last year. Um,
Yeah,
one of those
last
guys.
year really was only like 3 months ago.
Yeah. Well, in the first death and the second death, Steven Spielberg released a trailer for Disclosure Day. And there was some rumors and theories that he had not intended to release that teaser this year, right? And the theory is that he released the teaser because one of those guys who was killed, he was
The
working
following
really
winter,
closely with and had been
this was the year in which Gnaeus Pompey and Marcus Crassus were consuls.
for years when it comes
Those
to
Germans called the
etc.
UC, and likewise the
And there was some theory
Tencteri,
that
with a great
Steven
number of men
Spielberg,
crossed the Rhine,
and he's, long
not
time
far
in
from the place at which the river discharges itself into the sea. The motive for crossing that river was that, having been for several years harassed by the Suevi, they were constantly engaged in war and hindered from the pursuits of agriculture. The nation of the Suevi is by far the largest and the most warlike nation of all the Germans. They are said as 100.
Which, see, I don't know. I'm not really.
Omni Gallia devicta, Caesar, cumma superiore aestate, nullandi tempus intermissesset, militesque hibernorum quiete reficere a tantis laboribus velet, cum plues eorem tempore civitates renovare belli considerantur conirationes facere. Cuius rei veresimilis causa ad ferebatur, quod Gallis omnibus
handlers are not afraid to kill. And they're sending messages, basically to the other people within the program that want out or want the information out. Like, they either want to be out themselves or they want the information. And this is basically warning shots to them. There's no getting out. There's no, and that this war with Iran is almost like an embodiment of that they're willing to go to prevent this from happening.
Oh wow!
Right?
Yeah.
So I've got to be the chair for him all day, and he thinks it's funny. He just cries, and then when I pick him up, he starts laughing. He's like, haha, you gotta entertain me. Dude, we've been doing this all morning. Get a light. Take a nap. Relax. You say hello?
Hello?
That's gonna be your first hello? You think that's funny? He's laughing. He's got a big smile right now.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. He's gonna be a talker. Clearly, right? He's gonna be a talker like his papa. We're gonna talk everybody's ear off. I mean,
you know, I've been noticing.
I've been the other ear, we're gonna make him go deaf.
Kids are starting on Clubhouse so young these days.
Yeah, this is your first Clubhouse. We gotta get you a Clubhouse account. You'll be the first baby on Clubhouse. Talking that shit.
So that counterterrorism.
Trying to convince people from X Spaces to come to Clubhouse.
The counterterrorism expert who retired, he said that he couldn't be engaged in it anymore because of Israel. I don't know why he's really stepping down, but apparently it's because they don't agree with the war. But everybody's so pessimistic on the war. Most people don't know that war is just a funeral service. And it's two opposing parties engaged in funeral service processions. And the fact that they took out the Ayatollah, took out his son took out all the executives, they've already thrown out so much garbage that to say that it wasn't a success.
In between the first death and the second death, Steven Spielberg released a trailer for Disclosure Day.
You got cut off, bro.
But anyways,
you were in the middle of a good build, though.
Going, back to what Nye was saying about Steven Spielberg's movie, I'm always of the belief that it's a scam, meaning that there are no aliens, but there are people in the military that like to do spoofs or pranks. And, this war has proven beyond a reasonable doubt that we have the ability to just create infinite and forever amounts of money, because as a civilization with borders and nuclear weapons, it's our perimeter with the nukes versus the rest of the world. And it's just my belief that people in the military fake a lot of alien content, maybe even the Tic Tac video. But regardless, I know it's a super big, universe. So to think that in all the infinity of space that there can't be other life forms seems pretty stupid. If you have infinity, you would imagine that if there's an infinite amount of space, that eventually we're going to run into other intelligent life forms. But how you travel through the universe faster than the speed of light, I just don't know. That's why there must be some type of teleportation technology that allows, intelligence or the body to transport itself, but not through actual space flight. And so this is where meditation comes in, where just by sitting down or laying down, in your mind's eye, you can, teleport or transport anywhere by using what's called your imagination. But it doesn't mean it's literal. But people on this app who love to claim that their facts are opinions and that they are literalists or materialists still doesn't, prove that there are aliens. Because, for example, the police, my father was a cop in Chicago, and guess what he did? He pulled a prank. And he faked a gang called the Flying Fishes. So I'm just saying people create propaganda or counter propaganda. And, that's my opinion on a lot of the science stuff. But since people are so interested in it, and there's so much UFO content and alien content, including big movies like with Steven Spielberg, it's just a genre or a category that will never go away. And alien movies are the best movies, and they're some of the scariest movies with Sigourney Weaver. And I think Nye here, who loves movies, can confirm that those Sigourney Weaver alien movies will never be surpassed in terms of incredible photography. Like those movies are just something next level, and that's because in the 80s or the 90s, America was peak, material artistry. Now these CGI movies suck. But back when Sigourney Weaver was actually on a camera and an alien's mouth and submouth was emitting towards her face and the slime was coming down the steel teeth, like, that's really good movies. Those are really good movies. You could put those on your TV and they will stand the test of time any day of the week. So are we living in a propaganda? It's obvious. We live in a psyop, an active psyop, because there would be no reason to go fly across the world and drop bombs on some guy's house unless, we can explain it. Like, why did we just go drop all those bombs on Dr. Mahmoud's house? Oh, Dr. Mahmoud was trying to build a nuclear detonator. So we had to drop a bomb on him before he could build the final bomb, the Tsar Bomba.
Tsar Bomba! So you saying you don't believe that shit, bro? You crazy, bro.
Hello?
Man, people like you, bro. You gotta think bigger, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. You gotta think bigger, bro. It's like you saying facts and opinions, but I believe a lot of facts that people think are facts are created facts. Yeah. So where do you go from there?
Well,
a lot of facts you believe in are manufactured facts.
Yeah, 100%. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, as they like to say on Clown House This Way, it's really just a question of good versus evil. Like,
right.
I saw a picture of Lyndon Baines Johnson, celebrating St. Patty's Day. He looked like the most evil motherfucker you could ever see. So some presidents are the embodiment of evil. Nationally, globally. It's just the way life happens to be sometimes. Sometimes you get a real evil president. Really evil. Like Dr. Doom evil.
Yeah, I agree. But if there's UFO files, that means all this stuff has been being documented for years. A lot of people have seen many of these sightings, right? And a lot of whistleblowers come and speak out against this since how far long ago? So it only makes sense. You said what?
Since at least the 40s, the government has been documenting this.
Right.
And, Project Blue Book. And let me just add really quickly, Cass, as you build. Speaking of good and evil, Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson have hosted former military men who allegedly worked on, secret UFO programs, who claim that the public perception of UFOs is totally off. The UFOs, or the extraterrestrials, I should say, the aliens, are demons, literal demons.
Right, and that's what it. See, you gotta understand, right? People have their own version of their reality. So while people think, oh, it's ET, da 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 da, like it could just be demons and shit. Like, really, and that's what some people say. All of these things cooperate with pieces of history that already exist.
I don't know. Did you know did you read the news article that came out about King Tutankhamun's tomb in Egypt and how all the people who were associated with opening the tomb ended up dying, and they figured out why they died?
Why did they die?
Well, they thought that there was like a poisonous chemical on the seal of the door and all over the treasure and all over the tomb. But it turns out that it wasn't a poison. It turns out that it was actually, all the deaths were a result of fake news. And no one actually died. It was just the newspaper creating fake stories to sell newspapers.
Here's the thing, though. It's like you saying that doesn't mean they didn't die, though. You get it? So
no, I'm telling you, there was a news article about the news article.
Here's the thing, though. When people say things that aren't supposed to be out there, they get labeled as fake news, right? Some people say, when people say 9/11 is an inside job, that's fake news, you know? But the facts don't say it was. The facts, here's the thing. People say, oh, what the facts say? The facts don't say 9/11 was an inside job, but common sense says it is. So it's better to go with common sense and your intuition.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Fuck it, you're being told.
Well, the question is, if you think that the CIA blew up 3 skyscrapers and faked 2 plane crashes, one into the Pentagon and one in Shanksville, if you think that they faked that, that means that you are living in America where shit gets faked all the time. And people get paid for it. People get paid to psyop you. What the fuck? Hello?
What does psyops mean to you, bro?
Mind control, hypnosis.
The towers fell down, bro. The towers got hit. That happened. The thing is, the reasoning behind it is not the real reason as to why it happened. What they told you is not why. Who they told you is not who.
Well,
so they lied about the who.
I know, but the effect, the cause and effect, the effect was regime change around the world and assassinations galore. So we used the catastrophe of 9/11 as the pretext to create the context of regime change.
But you said we used it, but they didn't create it.
Well, I think it's a consortium. I don't think it's one group or one nation. I think it's a consortium of individuals who are now mostly retired or dead, because Donald Rumsfeld is dead, George Bush is dead. Supposedly Netanyahu's just a VR now. Like, Netanyahu's not even real. They figured it out because he went into a coffee shop in Israel.
I know.
And the girl behind the counter was so cute that they said, surely she must be CGI. And it turns out Netanyahu is actually just a hologram.
It was an AI video, and reports are saying he died earlier this month in an attack.
Wait, I love that John called him a VR. I'm over here cracking up. That is the perfect way to describe what's happening right now.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, right? It's like, I have a good understanding of what's going on, right? Just if you want to keep it earthly, But, this shit everything is connected. Meaning, the UFOs in the skies is connected to the Epstein files, is connected to the government. But let's just keep the UFO shit out of it. But I have a good understanding of what's going on, though. But because I understand that all of these things that happen, like you said, it's a group of people. Now, who are these group of people, and who's the people aligned with these group of people? So that's how I know. Some people know 9/11 is an inside job. Some people, you probably heard the real story plenty of times. It's not presented as a fact because the government doesn't say they did. But, common sense says that's an inside job.
Well, it definitely came from overseas. It's not organic.
It did not come from overseas, bro.
It's not organic.
But here's the thing, though. How deep do you understand what's going on around the world with this Trump in Iran, or what Donald Trump is fighting, who he's really fighting, who the real corruption is, who's not part of corruption?
Well, corruption.
How deep do you understand that?
Corruption tries to crush corruption with more corruption, and anyways, it's a very dirty Don Corleone kind of world, but not everybody's Marlon Brando. Some people are just orange and they got hair plugs and they're overweight and they eat McDonald's. But some people, when they run for political office, they have the ability to reframe the old with the new. And Hillary Clinton is the old, and Donald Trump, the magus, is the new. But everything has a shelf life. And little Marco, such responsibility, and little Marco Rubio has quite a destiny ahead of him. But will
So
he?
what do you think, right? What do you think is going on? Like, do you realize
Yeah,
what's going
I've
on
heard.
right now?
I do actually. It's all coming out of nothingness, which is the most surprising metaphysic and philosophical surprise. Is that we are reciting memories, but there's no such thing as the past or the future. It's all a compression now into your cell phone on Clownhouse. Clownhouse is actually the repository of the now. But I would just say that if you go to 9 out of 10 rooms on this app, it's not a repository of the now. It's actually very sad to listen to so many people waste all their time and not get paid for it, because the truth is that some people have figured out how to get paid for content, and other people just keep creating content or reading content or listening to content or watching content, but they're not getting paid for it, and they're paying for it. That's the craziest thing in the world to me, is that people actually pay for Netflix. They pay for Hulu. They pay for YouTube. They pay for content instead of getting paid. So when you realize it's better to be a seller than a buyer, or a distributor and a broker, it's just a question of how you live your life, And you only got so many hours to experience your body. Probably, you've lived before, and you're just inhabiting, a Groundhog Day body with Bill Murray. It's Groundhog Day! Phil Connors?
Well, John, not everybody has the capacity or the gift to create. Dare I say, the average human being is not creative. They're kind of fucking stupid. And so some people have the gift to create, and they do. Others have to buy the creation. They can't. Just like not everybody can be an entrepreneur and lead a business. Not everybody can be a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer. Everybody has their role in society. And when it comes to the creators and the artists, some create for those who have the capacity to buy. And that's no diss to the buyers or the audience. Artists need the audience and the buyers. But I think the audience knows, that's why they're drawn to the creators, because they lack the capacity to be as artistic and imaginative as those who create. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, it would be great if everybody could get paid, but it's so shameful to be an unrepentant spammer. And a lot of people on this app are actually just low quality spammers, and they've never been able to distribute their spam. I'm just saying that people need help. People need help. They need a hand up, not a hand out. And the people that run this app, I don't know, maybe they're just ambivalent, or they just they're clueless, but it doesn't really matter. It's very short. See, I try to live every day as if it's the last day, because the truth is there could be a nuclear war. There could be a whiteout, a blackout, a nuclear winter. Everything that we are experiencing is really because of World War II. All of our military weapons were developed, tested, deployed, perfected, and recreated, from the 30s and the 40s. So we're reliving history, and our country has been at war for 26 years, and we're $40 trillion in debt. And there's no turning back. But we've all consented to allow this to happen now by voting for DJT, the last and greatest prophet of Islam. Because clearly Muhammad, despite his military successes, never killed the Ayatollah and regime changed 10 different countries in 20 years. I mean, this is Islamic history here now. Is the USA the new caliphate? Is Donald Trump the last and most glorious prophet of Islam? Because he's best friends with MBS.
Wait, how is Trump a prophet of Islam? What are you talking about, John?
Because Muhammad clearly wasn't the greatest because he's not alive. And B, his military successes pale in comparison to DJT taking out the Ayatollah with 300 coordinated bombs. I mean, clearly Islam has to update its understanding of who the last and greatest prophet is. It was not Muhammad, also known as Abdul. It's clearly DJT from Mar-a-Lago.
Hey, Donald Trump a good man. That's all I know.
Well, everyone has the capacity for evil, and they say that the more evil you are, actually the opposite is also true. The more good you can do because you're so evil. And I'm not saying like, evil in the like a narrow category. I'm talking about like, good things can come through change and transformation, but you might call it evil. And I think it probably is evil, but this is geopolitical struggle, and war is an undesirable tool of politics. And people get to sit back in their leather chairs while other people go risk their lives to go chuck a spear. And we're just a bunch of spear chuckers engaged in a global political spear chucking competition or a funeral procession. And I'm just happy that I'm far away from incoming spears. But if axed...
Guys, I gotta rise off. Yo, do you want to run the room or should I end it?
Oh, you can just end it if you want.
That's up to John. You can end it. I'm gonna get back to work.
Unfortunately, in the Western world, they're not looking for the cure. They're looking for the what to prescribe. Perseus, come on up. But strength.
What do you think is America's cancer?
The left.
I would say tiger.
The left. Grown-ass men with purple hair that want to use women's bathrooms. Men that want to cut off their pecker or tuck them and jump into women's sports. I think the trans movement is a big problem. I think they rip off a lot of things. I think that's a huge problem.
Oh, and pedophiles.
Yeah, pedophilia. Yeah.
You in my opinion, I think that trans is most people don't know this, even in the trans movement, but based on like occult literature that I've read, I think the basis of it is actually like Satan worship or devil worshiping.
What, pedophilia or the trans?
Both.
Mm-hmm.
I think pedophiles belong to a wood chipper.
It's like witches, it's extremism. And to say that Tiger is the problem, I think is laughable. If Tiger were to ever open up and tell you about his Chinese culture, he could tell you the good and the bad too. So we're dealing with.
Why does he support the Chinese adventures?
The Adventures of China?
Yeah, he talks so highly of China, but yet,
Well, he's not gonna throw in the bad with the good. That's the kind of guy he is. He's too scared to talk about the bad things in his society.
Well, yeah, because they can. If he has any friends or family members in China, they can shut off. the e-money, you know.
But hold on, Strength. So target through the room off for course for a second. The title of the room, Islam is the problem with Iran, is the question. What's your take on that?
100%.
I would say
Trump will know more about America than Iran, so he's probably more interested talking about the trans and the pedophilia than, religion.
Well, if
we're gonna get back on point. Tucker, thank you. We're gonna get back on point. I think with any type of religion, BB, you have individuals who go full radical with it. I know a lot of really upstanding Muslims who are great individuals, positive role models in communities, not just Muslim communities, but in other religious communities. And I've met a few radical Muslims. And when I mean radical, I mean they take everything to the next step. And so I think I think in Iran that they projected morals as a low standing on society, and the only way to project being a good Muslim is to be as radical as possible. So I think that's where it is. We've seen, I've seen in my area, a few Iranian individuals who have left Iran, and over a few years, they transitioned from the beginning stages of almost radical, and then they gradually evolve into really good individuals. Granted, they still practice their belief, but they are really good moral components in a society.
So you have to separate what the law prescribes versus what the superstition prescribes, because our complaint is in the West, in my opinion, is not about the superstition. It's about the law, which is really polygamy and male chauvinism, or toxic masculinity. Because I saw a photo of an IRGC commander or mullah grabbing children by the head to drag them with him so a drone didn't hit them. And when you see men doing that, you realize that this is a fight to the very bitter end. And I personally don't like killing people. I don't like shooting at people. I don't like blowing people up, because I don't want to be around that type of environment, because it could be dangerous for my health. But what I'm just trying to say is, at the end of the day, somebody's got to do the killing.
But hold on, when was the last time you've done it?
Well, not many people know this, but I have suffered more than anyone on this app in terms of disaster in my personal life. And that's because every single second between my legs, I create 1,500 sperm. And therefore, every day I have 1 billion miscarriages. Rabbana Shalom. But really, the problem in Iran is that we have a bunch of cult members, like probably 20, 30 million hardcore cult members. And if you know the history of Iran, this type of Islam is not indigenous. It is an import. And it comes out of India, actually. That's what somebody said. And I never thought about it, but, it's just not natural to the environment in Iran. And so I'm just so happy that as an American liberator, we get to help the people of Iran fully experience what liberation means. And it's not just an outcome, it's an experience. Just like, what is a woman or what is a cell phone? It's an experience. We got Caleb in the audience. Not many people know this. Purim just happened, but not many people know the three responses of the children to Mordecai when Haman got so upset. And the first response is that, uh, you know, no matter how hard the Iranians scheme and plot, it won't make a difference because Hashem Rabbono Shalom, Adonai is the Lord is always with us, no matter what. They can't win because Rabbono Shalom is with, you know, with his people. So they're screwed. And you know, for years and years to come, Iran, it's very like, how do you reverse engineer their brains? It's very difficult. And they're not going to think the other way. So naturally, the slaughterhouse is the only. I love all these PTRs. How can I get one of my cool PTRs? BB, can you make me one?
Make you one?
Yeah, make me one.
All right.
Shalom.
Hey!
Hi, I love my PTR.
I sent you a new one.
You did? Let me go back and look for it.
Yeah. Okay, give me a minute. I'll be off mic.
Well, I recently had a YouTube video get deleted because I was discussing sex change operations in Iran for homosexual men, and they deemed it like hate speech, I believe, against a protected group of people. And I was just thinking, like, it's actually the opposite. They're actually victimizing a group of people by forcing them to do, you know, scrotal mastectomy.
Right, but that's their way of doing things. It's right in their playbook.
What are you guys talking about in here?
We're talking about Iran. The other day, about 2 miles on the treadmill, but it still just wasn't.
Iran, not Iran.
I know, I was saying how I got to get to the gym, so tomorrow I could say I ran 2 miles.
Yeah, I love this one without my face. I love this one. Oh my gosh, everybody's looks so cool.
I love your face. Girl on strength. There you go. Yours is a little different, but it's good. There you go. You can post it.
Did you send it to me? Do I screenshot your PTR? How do I do this?
I just sent it to you, so you screenshot it, but make sure you get out, like, do you have an iPhone?
No, this is Android.
Okay, like, you know how, fuck.
Just change your PTR and I'll screenshot your PTR.
I just sent it to you in the back channel. It's there.
Oh.
Yeah. Angel, how are you?
I'm doing good. Bibi, I wanted to apologize the other day for going off in that room at that lady.
Really?
In Amira's room. What's her name? Faya, whatever.
Are you joking, bro? You know what her name means in English? And it's Fea in Spanish. Do you know what that means? Ugly.
No. Oh my god. Yeah,
I
was
hate
so
that.
fucking
She's such a
disrespectful.
trashy bitch, yeah.
He's so fucking disrespectful. And then Amir was just being completely disingenuous.
I know.
Completely. And I confronted him. I was like,
That's his first name, though. Disingenuous.
well, that's exactly what the fuck he was. He's just so disgusting.
PTR.
And yet he gets many followers.
I have no clue why. And
It's for the angry people.
that woman that was next to him, she was just, something's wrong with her mentally.
Yeah, there's a lot of them in there like that.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, it's like a cult.
Baby's right.
Yeah, hi. I think Amir raised these discussions that are at least partly fair in the sense that he lets people speak. Of course, it's a very biased room. I've been there often, but not my favorite, but to his credit, he lets many kind of people speak and not kick them out immediately.
Well,
Yeah, I
yeah.
find it to be hateful at most times. I've gone in just to check.
I think you are correct.
Yeah, it really is.
in a,
It's a
you
lot
know,
of hate. Mhm.
So gathering that many people to be so hateful is a little serious there.
But they tried to like so Bibi and I didn't even acknowledge when she came up on stage. She came up and she said hello to everybody in the room, and she was like, except for the Zionists, and we continued the conversation. But then some man had said something really like grotesque to her. It was like just nasty, and she didn't say anything to him. So then my comment was like, whoa. If that's the type of response you get when you say hello, you were better off saying hello to the Zionists. You know what I mean? Like, because that was nasty. And then she went on this temper tantrum of like Zionists being baby killers, and then she called Bibi a rapist, and like Amir didn't do shit. He just kind of fucking just let her go off or whatever. And then she thought that she was just talking to a soft voiced, chick like myself, and then I just snapped on her. I just went off.
Good for you, Angel.
And I cursed her out, and then she.
Oh, Angel went nuts, bro. I was so impressed.
I felt so bad because I'm like, I'm embarrassing Bibi, and I'm just like, I didn't mean to.
Not at all. I was actually in traffic court.
I'm sure Bibi was like sitting there saying hooray, hooray with his mic
It was
closed.
just disgusting. And then she didn't anticipate for someone to put her to like, dish it back to her. Like nobody was being disrespectful. We were actually all in there just like mutually just talking. And she comes in with her fucking rubbish, and then she's gonna call him a rapist, a baby killer, and everything else. And I'm like, yo, hold yourself, like you don't know. You just don't go off saying ignorant stuff like that to people and think no one's going to say something because you're in this space. Clubhouse has a tendency to allow people to spiel ridiculous and harmful bullshit. And then the people who are supposed to be like modding the space, they don't, try to contain like any of the outrage or anything. They don't try to moderate, and they just allow. So someone could have just took a clip and just been like running around saying, oh, Bibi's a rapist, and then they would have fucking had a field day with that shit. No, you don't get to do that shit. No.
Yeah, it's called the hate room.
Yeah, and then he tried to bring me back up, and he tried to be like, oh, you're gonna be able to speak, and I'm like, no.
And really, I think Amir has some kind of a deep hatred or something against anything coming from this or this or the whatever Zionist entity or so.
It's not just Zionism. He's a cult guy. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
He's really, that's exactly, and he has a lot of people coming in. That's just concerning.
Well, he was like, so I know Nelson, I know Jonathan, so Nelson Ortega has the Chatter app. That's my friend. So he was running some like really harmful narrative about Nelson and Jonathan in the space, and mainly Jonathan, because Jonathan had said something in regards to like standing against Palestine, and he was like standing for Israel. But his commentary that he made, Amir had fucking just tried to like flip it and make it seem like Jonathan was like, talking some hateful talk. So he didn't know I can just call Nelson. I called Nelson and had Nelson come into the room, and he was like,
Lord Admiral Nelson!
Who are you? Who is this? And I was like, I'm Angel. I was sitting in the glue and I was listening to what you said about my friend. Now here he is. You could say it to his face. And then Amir just went silent, and he was stuttering and trying to he was tripping over his words. I was like, so now you're not going to say anything you said? I was like, let me come up and help you. Here's exactly what you said. And then he was trying to renege and say that that's not what he meant.
Renege.
Yeah.
He always backtracks.
So much for fucking cult leader.
I was in that room. That was a good room. They were trying, and Angel got them. She was smacking them around. Daniel said goodbye, Angel.
But he still gets all those people to come. Haters are us.
I think he sends them into some of the spaces that I'm in now, because now we have like these freaking people who come up and scream death to Israel and fuck you, angel. So,
what the fuck?
Yeah.
They mixed the two?
yep. And it's like, okay, I know where this is coming from. I'll come back around.
I see we have some Iranian speakers in the room. I just want to tell all my Iranian brothers and sisters fighting for liberation. دلم برات خیلی تنگ شده.
Okay.
Daniel, I made you a BTR. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, one observation is that one reason why Amir has so many people in his room is that people, let's say if we say it is like Amir versus the others are much more flexible in the sense that they are happy to live in rooms that are hosted by Amirs and but the other way it doesn't work like that. So, but, you can see Amir in the rooms that are sort of like this room. He doesn't come here or any place like this. So they want to have the superiority in the sense that they prefer rooms where there are the hosts themselves, so they can handle the room better.
And he talked about wanting to navigate towards peaceful conversation. He's full of shit.
Oh my God, he doesn't even know. He's probably calling it PIECE.
No, he's passive aggressive. That's the type of peaceful thing. He'd rather be calm and tell you because he's probably got clogged arteries. For sure, a little fat packy. So he's like, I need to be calm, peaceful.
Yeah.
But it's more calm, insulting.
He does. You would think that if you were emotionally fragile and you're still a moderator, you'd be able to control your emotional fragility. But he himself becomes so unhinged and screams so much that, just from an observer perspective, I don't know why people do this to themselves, but they come on here.
I seen him yesterday freaking out saying Iranians don't know anything about oppression, neither do Gazans. That he grew up in Saudi Arabia. There was the moral police, the hijab police. He was freaking out, man, he knows exactly what it was. That he grew up the worst.
He puts on long rooms.
Taking it on to be the worst.
He runs long rooms that go the whole day. That World Affairs Forum goes the whole day, 7 days a week.
I think I don't have any way of knowing specifics about who or anything, but when I think about all the different countries astroturfing campaigns, and I see a lot of these types of rooms on Clubhouse, I can't help but wonder, is that a part of that, at least some of those times. But I gotta tell y'all, man, I don't have a side in terms of Israel or not. I think I view the IRGC as a much worse entity in terms of how it treats its citizens and others. But that's not to say I'm not critical of my own government in Israel. But hey, man, that anti-Zionist propaganda is kicking y'all's ass. I'm just being honest, because I can't even have as somebody that's neutral, right? I wouldn't even say I'm neutral. I'm just
yeah, but hollow.
I look at it a certain way. I can't even have a nuanced conversation about it.
No, you're right. You're totally right, dude. I mean, the way I see it, I don't think I fully understood what the whole blood libel problem was until this whole thing started.
So before we get to the blood libel, don't you think that when people throw around the term Zionist, it's just like people here in America using the term MAGA to describe a political party? And so they never mention the political party at the basis using the slogan. And so we have propagandists who want to supersede the fundamental root words of what we're even talking about. And so Hollow just gave us his opinion and said that the anti-Zionists are winning the propaganda war. Then Mixed says, I confirm that. And I never understood blood libel until, I can confirm your opinion about So I don't know what planet you guys live on, but the people on the battlefronts dropping the bombs and fighting and preparing to do invasions, those are the people who I hope know, why they're doing this, as opposed to coming on conference apps and projecting propaganda or recording violent people all the time. I mean, the problem is not political opinion. The problem is when people want to commit violence or terrorism and they want to break the law. And that's what the real danger is. And that's the danger that Amir creates, is he fosters a beehive of potential violence. And that type of activity or that type of organizing intelligence or creative intelligence is the real danger. Hello?
I mean, I think that's the primary danger, is like the immediate violence. But I think that there is a secondary issue, which is the shaping of public consent, the shaping of public opinion, manufacturing of consent. This has real world implications, and there's a lot of examples of where like these sorts of strategies have been effective in like political groups or otherwise, like paramilitary groups, whoever it is. It's effective. There's a reason that countries spend so much money on just that alone. Like they're not doing it because it's fun. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm with you. Like yeah, like that's definitely it's. I don't disagree with what you said. I think just like the addendum to that is public opinion matters. Like and the shaping of it, like those effects are real.
Public opinion matters, of course, but it's called the spectacle. The spectacle can be manipulated with the touch of a feather. And so I'm just saying this app is actually just for complainers. And guys like Amir and all the people that come to his room, all the deranged, cackling, screaming Persian women that want to give you 10 migraines over for the rest of your life, it's up to you to listen to it. I like recording it, but not listening to it. I like live streaming Amir's room onto YouTube, but not listening to it. And really, it's because I'm just trying to capture a terrorist, in the act, and then identify that person and notify the FBI. Because if you're just going to sit here and let propagandist terrorists dominate the spectrum or the spectacle, but not F with them, I mean, what are you really doing here? You're wasting your time and you're complaining. Hello?
Yeah, but he's fostering hate. That's his whole
absolutely.
trope. That's all he's doing, fostering hate.
And then, so my experience with the woman who was sitting next to him, I guess, he had mentioned that at some point in the conversation, he had mentioned that I'm a mother of 6 children. That was nothing part of the conversation, but he put that information out there, and then she made some nasty threat in regards to my children, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, there's problems, like you're housing a space where people are coming in, they're not being productive at all. You guys aren't doing anything to support whatever you're claiming that you're trying to support, and you're just spewing hate.
You see, that's doxing, bro, and putting children in danger. But he doesn't care because they're not Muslim.
Filtering people. He names people by name. I mean,
yeah, and there's a story on Clubhouse that we're all talking about how a Pakistani got murdered, and then his family will be like, maybe he went too far.
And then he lied to everybody and told everybody that I'm part of Chatter, that I help.
A part owner, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So then, like, people were kind of looking at me like I have, like, more authority in the space than I actually really do, trying to target me. So then now, everywhere I go in some of the other spaces, I'm getting people coming up on stage telling me, fuck you, Angel, like, death to Israel. And I'm just thinking, oh, and then he just kept on painting a narrative about me, and he doesn't even know me. He just seen me come into his space, and then he'll say to Bibi, like, he'll intentionally call out Bibi every time I come in the space. I'm just like, okay, yeah, he has a problem.
This might be an example of what someone has, or what they're lacking in life, which is really a life. And so they're using you as a tool to also attack Bibi. Because Bibi here is, the Lion of Judah, leading the online military effort to liberate Iranians here with Daniel. Daniel, in my opinion, should get an award from the International Zionist Award Corporation and probably get a free trip to Jamaica here. Because Daniel here, as well as Issa,
At a hedonism resort.
that would be fun.
You should get a fucking free trip to Jamaica at a hedonism resort. Where they're doing, what's that thing where they bury you up to your neck and on your face?
I've had a lot of people talk about Daniel. This is a new one.
It's the round trip, I hope.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bukkake, free bukkakes. This fucking guy strength. Sometimes you start off strong, bro, and then
this I
crash
got
like crazy.
Then we go to another planet.
Oh man, that was fucking hilarious, bro.
It was.
A free trip to Jamaica.
Out of nowhere, too.
Out of nowhere, bro.
I think he was inspired by the PTRs.
I swear, he's looking, he's like,
I can't. I'm laughing my head off.
Shout out to inspiration.
Thank you all for a good laugh. We needed it.
I've been on this app since the very beginning. I don't know if everyone can recall when they first logged into this application, but
I can.
So back, we call it season 1. There was none of this. Like, people had their, you came out, you said what was on your chest, you put it on the floor, you said, your piece or whatever, but people actually had intention to try to make a way for there to be a mutual understanding, so that people...
We had real photos, real names. It was like real people at the beginning. It wasn't aliases.
Exactly.
And then there was Amir.
Talk about yourself. You were able to talk about your life and what you did for a living, where you came from, who your family was. You had a lot of opportunity for there to be like a genuine connection, and people to have an understanding of, your opinions and where they were coming from and where they derived from. Now, people don't care. They do not care. They come in, they have a persona. Sometimes I don't think it's persona. I think some of these people are really this way. I think they are really mentally sick, and they come onto this application because this, boosts their dopamine or whatever in that mentally sick, brain that they have, and they just kind of go off on tangents, and then they create these little, tiny ass rooms with barely anybody in them, but it's fueled with hate. And then they run all over the fucking app like lunatics, going in everywhere, talking about death to Israel, death to America, da-da this and da-da, and just trying to really just paint the narrative that, they're really about this regime, and they're really about, killing people and hating people, and they're really not about that in real life. And in real life, they'd probably shit their pants if they ever saw Bibi face to face, like shit on themselves in real time.
That's the unfortunate part, though, that's what gets me so frustrated. Because me and you have FaceTimed, you know what I look. I know what you look like. I'm like, even at the beginning when I was on this app, I remember we would all put our faces on and in a room, and it was secretive. And yo, this is what everybody put their real face. It was okay, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then it's so weird. And then now I'm like, you wouldn't talk to me like that. Why do you feel like you can now? But it's not just the 1 or 2 guys. It's the app. Everybody hides behind everything.
Yep. And and you guys aren't in some of the scummiest places on this app, but there's other spaces, even right now as we're speaking, they are posting people's nudes. They are posting people's...
Where?
No, you don't want to see that one. You'll cut your own eyeballs out. I personally don't view them. I always tell people that my rabbi won't allow me to view that content.
Yeah.
But it's disgusting. And then they go off and they'll drag people's kids, they'll post people's family, they'll go into people's Facebooks, it's a doxing campaign that they have, and it's fueled by the people in the goo. The people in the goo are the quote unquote audience, and
agitators. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I was in a room. Was it with you today? There was a lady. There was about 100 people in the room. And she was the only person on stage talking.
Oh yeah. That's makeup.
Oh, I was like, that's impressive. Like, what the fuck does she have that's so good?
So those are called our rant spaces on that side. So every now and then you'll get a ranter, and it's one person at the top kind of giving you the rundown of what they've been kind of attacked with. So if they're going off on a rant, they're pretty much telling you, like what people have kind of attacked them with, or try to set them up with, or the narrative that people's been painting. And normally it's to go off and say, hey, like, I know what you're saying about me. I don't give a fuck. Here's what I know about you. And now what's your next move? That's what your cases are.
Because she was talking about a club and this and that. I was like, this seems pretty fucking.
And shit. And you know what I noticed though? Like in those spaces, they're still on season 1, season 2 content. They're still they're rehashing old shit that just is like if you gotta be an idiot to sit there and buy into it today. Like now, like people can see in between. Like people can see what's real and what's not, and then you got people who want you to side with them while they're jumping somebody else. And if you don't side with them, then you're mass blocked, or they'll report your account. And this app is out of control, completely out of control. It's not anywhere where it used to be. You used to be able to have conversations with people you disagreed with, and at least walk away from the stage with there being some understanding that tomorrow when I come back, if I decide, I'm not going to be violently attacked for my opinion.
Yeah. Some of these people too, that are doctors, professionals, you just can't have good combos with them, and I want to. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're all gone now, baby. If any of them are here, they're
like
probably...
Prince. Prince is educated, but look at him in the chat. Look, we are winning. The top official resigned. We broke the narrative. What are you winning?
God, what are you winning?
I'll tell you what, baby. I'll tell you what.
Tell me. No yelling, no insults. Let's have it normal.
And that's your people. Then they kept me out. In 76 years, you've enjoyed free reign support from the United States and Western countries. Who's
enjoyed that?
Jews. Okay. That's over and done with.
Today, hold on. Who is Prince? What are you, Prince? Where are you from?
You see?
No, where are you from?
You see?
Triggered. I want to know where in this war are you? Because there's a war right now. It's Iran.
Triggered. Ladies and gentlemen, she got triggered by the Prince.
I want to know which part of it are you?
Excuse me, ma'am. According to recent polling in the United States of America, for the first time in history, support for Israel has extremely decreased, and support for Palestine has extremely increased. Not only among the left, which is the Democrats, but also among Republicans. And today, the top official in the Trump administration's National Counterterrorism Department resigned, blaming Israel for the death of his wife, claiming he is not willing to send soldiers to defend Israel. We changed the narrative, we broke the chain, we removed the curse on America. We did it. We did it. We did it, man, Sarah. We broke.
Can someone mute him?
The world is pro-Palestine and anti-Israel.
Bullshit.
I put a
PTR.
Yeah, so I just want to say something.
They're just a bunch of terrorists.
Okay, you can say that, Damien, but I'm talking about facts and you're talking about emotions. You can call me a terrorist all you want. I don't mind. But at the end of the day, we have the support of the people.
know what you guys can
We have the support of the people, sir.
if you're going to give this information, I would ask that you drop the link. So that's one way that we can kind of like.
Can you?
Hey, Prince, I put a PTR. Look at it. This is the dude you're talking about. 2 years ago, he made a tweet. 2 years ago, he tweets. He says, we know everything about IOGC and how dangerous they are and blah, 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 and da-da-da. Today, he says something opposite of that.
Nope.
That means probably the Islamist mobs have threatened his children because his wife was killed by the Islamists, by the by the ISIS and Hamas terrorists and Hezbollah terrorists. He's probably trying to protect his kids. At the end of the day, he's a Democrat. Under his nose, we have a lot of sleeper cells coming into U.S. So what you're saying doesn't really matter because, again, check my PTR.
Sarah, can I ask you a question? Are you Iranian?
I am. But
you know, it's funny, Bibi. You say I'm educated, but you're surrounded by dummies. Did you just hear what she said? Did everybody just hear what she said? She said the Trump administration is infiltrated by Hamas.
What?
No, but the brother, but the
I
Muslim
swear to
brother.
God, you people are fucking
Let's be serious. The Muslim brother,
you people
the Muslim,
are delusional.
hold on, Prince.
And that's exactly why you're
Prince,
losing.
Sweetie,
That's
the
why
Muslim,
you're losing.
Sweetie, the Muslim
No,
brotherhood.
Daniel, no sexual harassment.
Hold on, one
The
mic
Muslim
on Daniel. One
brotherhood
mic on Daniel.
is the one that is
Daniel.
infiltrating the West and is doing this. Yes,
Muslim
Hamas is part of
brotherhood.
Are you okay? Do you need your pills? I'm not. Is your nurse here?
They're having the panic. Let me give
I gotta go, but
Okay, I gotta mute.
Really?
Let me give you guys a little bit of update what's happening in the pro IRGC rooms right now. They're like fucking panicking. If anybody wants, I can go there and ping you, and you don't understand Farsi, but from their voice, you can tell they're freaking out. Freaking out. They're like panicking. People like Prince, they're just really sad because they're losing their sugar daddy. IRGC is gonna be gone, and they got no sugar daddies anymore. That's why they're sad. And guys, keep this.
Him to drop his links so we can
He-
read where he's getting his information from.
Well,
And
this
then
dude,
debate it.
Angel, the guy I posted on my PTR, he signed his resignation and turned it in today. If you haven't seen it, I'll go bring it. If you guys haven't seen it, you do want to see that. But it's funny because this tweet from 2024, which I have on my PTR, just says the opposite of what he said today. So the guy
But
today
in order to get an actual standing debate, allow them to drop their link and then debate them with facts you have.
I know, yelling at them.
Because then we're missing like important voices like Daniel was trying to speak too. So obviously we want a debate, you know what I'm saying? We want that type of communication, but running over them we can't hear.
But he doesn't. It's Prince. He doesn't talk though. He comes and talks shit, and then walks out when you try to like talk with him. That's Prince. Like I mean, I don't know. I'm unless you guys have ever held a real conversation with him. Maybe you guys have, but he doesn't have any communication skills. Like there are people you can debate, and there are people you just can't. He's one of those people. Like even with Amir, you can debate. He might not let you talk a lot, and if you're talking good, he might. But he lets you talk. He's just a fucking troll. I don't know.
Okay, I understand. Maybe and again, maybe it's because I don't have like an experience with him, but I wanted him to cite his sources. You know, like where are you reading this from, and what like you know. Why are you coming up and talking about this?
Oh, you're virtual.
Oh,
you are already.
They what they believe is what reality is. They think, and probably they are right. I mean, I think it was a Goebbels that said that if you tell a lie,
You are already living in VR. Cool.
I want you guys to see something really quick. So you see where it says Prince just joined Clubhouse,
Matrix.
right? That is a new. That's a new comer to the
Do you
app.
have-
So
Where does it say that, Milo?
in the chat. Do you see it?
Do you earn a
Maybe
living?
it's a new account. We know this dude.
No, hold on. She knows.
Yeah. So
Oh,
listen.
you are
so
already
when
living
you,
in
'cause
VR.
now
Cool,
Clubhouse
Matrix.
is snitching on the burners,
How-
right? So I'll
Where does it say it? Where does
Yeah,
it
I'll
say
What's it
PTR.
like?
Give me 2 seconds. So
What's it
when
like?
I don't know if any of you guys have done the update, but now you can see the
I did.
brand new accounts that are. Look at. Hold on.
Oh, the burners. That's letting you fucking know.
Look.
And then
so
you
now
can
look,
report for
PTR.
disrupting stage, right?
Yep. So look now PTR. You see? It's
Just join Clubhouse. Say hi.
Yep. Just join Clubhouse. So now you can fucking see when they create a burner. So keep that. Just wanted you guys to like know, because now you're gonna get the same people coming in your spaces, and you're gonna see burners created from them. So either somebody in this room created a burner for him, or he went and created a burner and just joined the app.
Yeah, but you can create an anonymous account. You can create an account and then get plus and go into any room unrestricted and record that room. So
Yeah, you gotta pay for plus though. Some people still can't pay for it.
I see.
Some people still can't afford it. It's been 5 years. And I don't want to pay for it. I will refuse. They keep kicking me out, like banning my accounts. Why the fuck am I want some security.
The reason they're freaking out is because today is the first day that in Iran they're testing to see how weak the IRGC has become. Bibi, do you know that Larijani was killed?
Yeah.
So Larijani was killed. The head of the Basij for the last 5-6 years, he was killed yesterday. So they killed 2 big people. Guys, Larijani is huge. You have to understand. Publicly, Ayatollah Khamenei, just before he was killed, a week or 2 before that, he said, in case something happens to me, he said this publicly. Larijani is the one that's going to be making decisions for Iran until whenever. Like, he publicly made it announced that this guy is going to make decisions if something happens to me. And then people were like, oh, he hates him, like he's trying to get him killed. No, that's not what it was. Because of how the power dynamic is in Iran, they have to say it so everybody knows
save the money.
he trusts, So that guy's dead. Today's Charshanbe Suri. It's the last Tuesday night, Wednesday Eve of the year. In Persian tradition, people place fires and then jump over that. IRGC hates these Persian traditions, and then the prince has he hasn't tell people to go protest, but he's told people to go out and celebrate this, and so then Israel told people that go out, and were like there, and they've been like killing a lot of the Basijis. To enter and exit all the big cities, there are like checkpoints right now. Like, I keep reading them. What I'm trying to say is, like, it isn't. They are in a panic mode, because who knows? This is just a test. But what if it becomes big and becomes like something big? Does that make sense? That's why they're all panicking. So I just want to let you guys know you're going to see a lot of weirdos today.
Oh, they're panicking. They are being targeted on the street now, the Basij people, even on their bikes. They're doing checks on the streets, and those checkpoints are being targeted. I just saw like a video of just targeting, and they have no places to go because all the command centers have been destroyed, and they are starting to panic.
Even U.S. is fucking with them, guys. We don't show the bombers, the B-1, B-2 bombers on the radar. Just right now, there were 2 entering, or like going toward Khark, or like entering Iran from the south. And right before Khark, their radar went off, but it was on for like hours. People were like, they were panicking. Like, I was in an IRGC room, and their chat was closed, but I could hear in their voice how panicked they were. Those laughs that Prince was giving, those were like panic laughs. They're just upset because they literally, all these terrorist organizations, Hamas, Hezbollah, cooties, all these craps. They just lost their sugar daddy, guys. They're done. They're not going to get money from IHC anymore. It's not just that. Imagine, I don't know when this regime is going to be changed, but we're on that path. Not only they lost their sugar daddy, but their sugar daddy is being replaced by strong allies of Israel and U.S. So this is like really depressing moment for these people. I understand why they're so angry.
He's here, guys. He's here. I'm gonna invite him up. Hi, Yaakov.
Hey. Okay, so change topic.
Change the topic. Yeah. Daniel, how was your day?
The weather. The weather is good.
Fucking beautiful weather. Oh, guys, by the way, my favorite song ever, it's in the Jumbotron there. It's called In My Version. I'm going to play a little bit of it just so we can reset the room. I want you guys to click on it if you can. Also, like, subscribe. This is fucking amazing music. 1 second.
Thank you to Spotify and Apple Music. And
yeah, 1 second. I apologize. 1 second. Here you go. I'm going to play it. Just to reset the stage a little bit. Don't run away. You're going to enjoy this song.
I like the way it sounded. I like the side it put me on. It made me feel like I was brave, like I was
Dedicate this to Angel.
I shared it without you.
Ribono Shalom, $1 equals 1.3 million Iranian rial. 1 year ago, it was less than 40,000 rial. So it's up 3,000% year to date. 3,000%. Wow.
I'm the Libri of Alistair Crowley, technical libers of the liberals, subfigured all of Trace liberals, subfigured all of Saidi bar, metalata, Alistair Crowley, libers, liberals, subfigured all of concordance, Alistair Crowley, libers, subfigured all of Alistair Crowley, libers, liberals, subfigured all of subfigured all of the strong. This is our law and the joy of the world. To be the whole of the law. Thou hast no right but to do thy will, do that and no other shall say.